Namaskar everyone. Happy Diwali for all Indian families here. Happy Diwali. Hey Ankur, happy Diwali. What's up everyone? So today it's actually in our tradition, it's a Diwali festival of lights. So that's why I'm wearing the traditional dress today because my wife have some celebrations after the live. Thank you everyone. Happy Diwali. So after the live, me and my wife and my mom and dad, we will be cracking some firecrackers, and we'll have some sweets. It's a common tradition that we've been following for from since I'm a kid. So I'm excited for that. If you're an Indian, how is your Diwali going on? Or if you're, let me know where you're joining the call from. What's up? What's up, everyone? So namaskar. Thank you, Nishant. Javed, thank you. Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali, everyone. So, Lakshmi bomb available in Canada. Yeah, maybe. My wife found some small things, maybe not Lakshmi bambus. Probably they are not that safe here because most of the houses are made up of wood, right? So it's we gotta be very careful. So only small things like sursurbati. Hey Gilberto. Hey Mahir. Welcome. Hey Saz. Hi Mamta. What's up? What's up? So lots of people joining. Thank you. Thank you. I stumbled on Andrew Hines podcast. Yeah. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Um, I think it was released 3 days ago. Had a really good time with him. A lot of deep conversations about uh, my story and also like about my current project that I'm doing, converting a single family into a triplex. Right now, I just we just finished converting into second unit. The legal unit is done. Um, I'm excited to do the third unit. My wife worked hard to do the landscaping. My wife and my partner, they did the landscaping just themselves. So that we dig deep into that project and more details. So if you haven't checked out that podcast, just search Andrew Hines. It's podcast, I believe, 144, real estate investing in Canada podcast. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been 8 to 9 years in Canada. I came as a student. Um, yeah, definitely, it's a very interesting journey all these years. But yeah, let me quickly touch on this important elements that what's going on in Windsor, and also what's going on with interest rates, because right now we have seen the Bank of Canada started to increase the rates. So just curious, what do you guys think going to happen in 2020? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback, your thoughts on what do you think going to happen. Is the rates going to continue to increase, or are they going to stop? What do you think? Hey Nick. Hi everyone. Happy Deepavali, Nishant. Where can I listen Andrew Hines podcast? I'll make sure to leave a link in the description. Just search Andrew Hines podcast in Canada, so you should be able to see that. Let me see Andrew Hines. Uh, it's a very informative podcast that he does. He's also pretty impressive dude from I believe from London Kitchener area. Yeah, if you just search Andrew Hines podcast, you will be seeing it's pretty easy to Google. Yeah, Yeah, so let me quickly touch on, because it's a new month. It's already November 4th. Days are flying. If you guys don't know, I'm actually traveling to India on December 1st for 2 months vacation. Of course, going first to Maldives and then to India. We'll be in Maldives for 2 weeks and then go to India. So I'm super excited. But keeping that aside, in October, the numbers, I want to quickly share with you guys how the numbers look like. Let me see if I can share my screen here. It looks like I cannot share my screen here, but let me just quickly run the numbers with you guys. It's pretty interesting. If you want to learn more about Windsor real estate board like the numbers here, I'll put a link in the description as well. You can easy to find those stats there. But I'll just quickly touch my thoughts on what's happening in the market, and then we'll jump on the discussion about mortgage rates. But in the meanwhile, feel free to throw your questions here. If you're new, please let me know what's your name and where you're joining the call from. Looking forward to uh, know you and what do you do, what's your investing strategy, and also let me know in the comments below. Love to hear. So let me quickly touch here about what's happening in Windsor market. So last month, again, an interesting numbers. The number of listings, still new listings, like new properties came onto the market, also increased comparative to last year by 2%. So last month there were like 855 new listings on the market. And the interesting stats, especially if you're an investor looking to buy, this is a good news for you. The number of properties sold in the market are 658, which means actually comparative to last year, the dropped by 12%. So comparative to last year, this year in October, the number of listings have dropped. So which means the number of properties sold definitely less than comparative to the properties that are coming into the market. So which means the market is kind of softening comparative to before. Like the properties are selling super quickly, and there were like the number of sold properties inventory has been increasing constantly. So now this is a good sign to see the inventory has increased and the number of properties sold has decreased. But the another interesting one, the stats average home price in Windsor, interestingly still stayed up. It's $565,278 comparative to last year. We are still up by 31.73%. So if you would have bought a property last year, your property has appreciated approximately, again, it changes from neighborhood to neighborhood. If you want to know more details about your specific property, reach out to us. But on an average 31% increase, that's like insane. If you put 20% down on a property last year, that means now your money has made over 150% returns, because 31% on the price. It's crazy. So the average home prices are still staying strong, because not many the listings that are coming up onto the market, not every seller, even though they have like 3 or 4 offers instead of like 10 offers, they're not selling them. They're just canceling the listing because they have too high expectations. That's one thing I've been seeing. Like a lot of listings are getting canceled just because the sellers have high expectations. They just tried the market, see if they get the price that that they used to get, and if they didn't get, they're just canceling it. But also, like, if you're an investor, good news is now you can try, like, if there is a motivated seller, they might sell because there is not as much as demand as it used to be a month ago or 2 months ago. definitely there is less competitive to that. That doesn't mean that you will be able to like go back to the same market how it was 2 years 3 years ago, but definitely that means there are a lot of people have been uh, waiting to just at least get the property. Because of the bidding wars, they were not able to get a property that makes sense to them. So now at least because of the inventory went up, and the properties are getting canceled, so now you have a little bit more opportunity to pick and choose the properties that you like. So that's my take on the Windsor market. And again, throw your questions in the comments below, happy to answer. Antonella from Toronto. Hey, Antonella, nice to meet you. Buy and hold duplexes, love that. Most of my portfolio is also duplexes. Hey, Mahir. So if selling or listing is decreasing, is it good or bad? I mean, if there is a less selling, should we buy more, or is it a bullish market? I mean, so I'm not I'm not too optimistic to say like go buy whatever you get. Especially if you want to be a successful investor, if you are like me who are investing for long term, because my strategy is I would buy a property under market value, need some cosmetic updates, and which definitely once I'm done with the renovations, if I can pull my equity out in 6 months or 1 year, and if the property can cash flow, then I'll buy. So I would say always buy the right deal. Don't just buy because expecting that the market will go up. That's one thing I see, because now also another reason that we are seeing the property number of sales has gone down, because now the interest rate just increased. So that also puts a lot of people the potential to buy. The qualification goes a little bit down, so the affordability has reduced a little bit. Might not be that drastic, but also there is a fear, because a lot of articles have been reading in recent times. One of the article, this is the title: the Bank of Canada had signal rates could raise as soon as April 2022. So literally these articles are coming up saying that there is a high chances of increasing in the interest rate between April to September next year. So obviously what that creates is, in the consumer mind, like the buyer's mind, there is a fear, because now they have a chance of increasing their monthly payments. So that fear would cause for consumer to not to get into the market as much as they want to. So I would say, like, if you're selling, you just need to do more work than before. Your agent has to do a fantastic job. But if you're buying, just make sure you're buying the property, do all your numbers. Don't just buy like for expecting that the price will be appreciating. Buy a property that is good with the numbers. You're still good even if the interest rates go up by 0.5% or 0.1 or even 1%, because the predictions are next year there are chances for increasing of the interest rate by 1%. So basically, um, personally, I'm a big fan of being conservative. Like, always be prepared for the worst case scenario, and if the worst case scenario doesn't happen, it's fantastic. But if it does happen, at least now you're protected. Just do all your numbers in such a way that take the rates a plus 1%, whatever the rates currently you're getting, add plus 1% to it and see if your numbers make sense. Because now you're just playing a safe bet. Even if the interest rates goes up, you're still fine, because you already predicted that into your numbers. So just don't buy um, blindly. Do your numbers, make sure um, you accounted for that unknown unexpected situation to happen, so that way you will be safe. And love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? Is the interest rates, the Bank of Canada will be increasing the interest rates, or they are just fake newses? What do you think? Interest rates will go up or down? Just let me know your thoughts. Hey Aditya, love the TikToks you've been making. Also, what is the main source of your listing? Dami, thank you, man. If you're asking about main source of listing, you mean listing proper, getting the listings, or listing the properties I'm selling? Um, be a little bit more clear with your question. I quite didn't get it. What do you mean by source of listings? How I find my listings? Nehal, they definitely will, but it will not be as bad as they say. Most news is fake advertisement. I agree with you. That's just like housing market is gonna crash. That word I've been hearing since I got into real estate market. Since I started investing, which is like 4 years ago, because the news spread way faster. Negative news spreads way faster than the positive. But one thing also, like I notice, has, because I wear two hats, investor and the sales realtor hat. Whenever I'm wearing my realtor hat, I can see a lot of buyers. They just buy emotionally. So when you're investing, when you're buying multiple properties, you got to be conservative. Make sure you run your numbers properly, make sure you're buying the right property, um, and make sure to have contingency funds, things like this, right? Like if the interest rate go up, um, if you haven't attended my last live, I was telling, like, generally I tend to keep at least a 10,000 extra funds for each property accessible for me anytime. Like if I have um, 12 to 15 properties, the three properties are in flip and 12 of them are buy and holds. So I keep at least like 100,000 accessible for me, 100 to 150, either through line of credits or in my saving account or in my stocks that I can sell anytime. If it's stocks, I would try to keep it more. But somehow, if you should be in a position to have access to that extra funds, because unexpected things happen, like this interest rate increase, or roof is gone, or your furnace is gone, or something breaks, because you never know. As an investor, anything could happen. So being prepared for unexpected things, and if that happens, if the market start to go down, it's actually like, I'm not trying to be too unhuman here. It's bad for many people who are not prepared for it, but it's good for investors who are like prepared for it, for a down market, which you never know will come. Then you can buy more, because now you have a you're prepared, and you know how to run your numbers, what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, how is the rental market and all those things. So just be prepared. Damn it, sorry for not being clear. No, I mean, how do you accumulate your leads? Good question. So, if you're a realtor, if you're looking to become a realtor, or any sales career, right? Like any self-employment, here's one thing: you gotta be standing out. One way I figured out is social media, like this. My YouTube channel, my Instagram, my Facebook. Uh, I'm active on all the platforms, as many platforms as possible, and my marketing strategy to get leads is by providing value. Mm, I provide value through social media, and also, like, I attend a lot of networking events, where also, like, when I'm going to those events, I don't just blindly give my card and hey, say hi to me on social media. I would make connection, provide value for them in a way I can, and make the establish those connections. So same thing through the social media. I'm doing the same thing through social media. I'm doing that through networking. So those are my heavy lead gen resources. So that's exactly why you see me coming live, on every Thursday 7 p.m. uh, because I'm providing this value, right? So now, maybe out of 10, 20, 30 people who are attending live, maybe might need or someone, their friend or family, who someone looking to sell their property, because I'm on top of their mind. They see me on social media on a regular basis and I'm active in my business, I'm on top of my game, so they might send me the referrals, right? So that's what my marketing, Dami. Hope it makes sense to you. I shared my secret now. Oops. Is it advisable to invest in real estate in 2021? Robin, 100%. I just, another update. I closed another property just yesterday. Just yesterday, I purchased a property. So personally, I'm a fan of, I'm not a fan of waiting. I'm a fan of like doing the numbers, finding the right deal, because be patient. Find the right deals where numbers make sense, where the property makes sense, um, and keep buying, because you don't know, the real estate is always a cycle. But even a best all-time investor, what's his name now, sorry man, I'm so bad with these names, but even those top guys, they say that they cannot predict the market. If they cannot, how can we? We are still like, small fishes in the river. So personally, instead of that, find a good deal where numbers make sense, lower than the market value, force the property value, and make sure the property at least makes a positive cash flow. Try to pull your equity out in the first year, and then I'm safe, my investment is safe. That's my strategy. It sounds dumb, but that's working well for all these years, and lot of long-term investors tell me the same thing. If the market goes down in 2022 or 2023 or 2025, no matter whenever, now I know what I'm doing. I have connections, I have contractors, I have all the things. Then it becomes much more easier for me to make educated decision at that time when the market is crashed. Maybe I'll go start a syndication and start buying as many properties as I can. So in order to do that, I got to be in the game, right? So I would now walk like a like a tortoise slowly. Wherever I can, I'll pick up them good properties and I'll keep moving forward. When there is a market drop, I'll pick more and I'll keep moving forward. That's my strategy. Okay, what's the next question here? Let me see. Amarinder, BOC is just trying to give a forward guidance to cool down the market. BOC cannot increase the rates alone, as US Fed and BOC rates hike work in tandem. Give a hawkish forward guidelines to cool down the market. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So it's a good comment. I agree. But again, at the same time, if they've been telling that, when the rates were like in 2000, I remember when I bought my primary home, which is like 2.5 3 years ago, interest rates were like at 3.2, and they thought it was like lowest rates at that time, and they were saying, the Canada, Bank of Canada going to increase the rates. And then COVID happened in 2020 March, and the rates actually went down. That's surprisingly, but they were predicting to rates to go up. um, we don't know. It's hard to say, because they cannot even increase too high, because if they increase, the Canada economy heavily dependent on real estate market. And if people start to lose their homes, and and a lot of people will be um, out of business, out of income, so that would be a disaster. I don't think they will increase drastically, but definitely they might increase 0.5% or 0.25%. That could possibly happen. Madhu, hey Madhu, how are you? Yeah, it's hard to say. While the inflation and bond yields has been pointing towards an increase, BOC will also consider the impact on Canada's household debt, which is really at 1.69. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, again, like I said, that's what, um, it's hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. Instead, you can be prepared that, look at all your properties and see, do your numbers. just throw that extra 1% on all your properties that you own, or if you don't own anything, whatever you're buying, add that extra 1% on top of the existing rate. See if you can still hold that property, because now you got to be just we cannot just strike off the rumors. And if it happens now, we don't want to be the victims, especially when we are getting educated, when we are reading all these blogs, learning to become a good investor. Then you just need to be prepared for it. Yep, even if there is an increase, it will be a moderate one. Yeah, I agree. Nihal, if a residential property is zoned for commercial, do you have to put down 35 down? Good question. Actually, I came across this multiple times. Depends on the lender. Some lenders strictly say, oh, this is commercial zoned, even though the usage is residential, they will not consider. But there are some lenders, they will consider based on what is the usage. If the usage is residential, they might say, yep, we'll lend you 25 or 20% down. But if the usage is also commercial, then they might say you have to put 35% down. Maybe you got to find the right mortgage person to do those kind of deals. But generally it's a little bit tricky comparative to traditional right away straight residential property. Amarinder, 80% bonds are purchased by BOC. Yep. Uh, Thank you, Antonella, for posting the link for Andrew Hines' podcast there. I appreciate it. Kerry, also, if you can find the link for the Andrew Hines, post it in the YouTube. Antonella posted on Instagram. So probably for audience who are on Facebook and Instagram, they can have access to it. MD Tawhid Zaman, sorry if I pronounce your name. It's an interesting name. Why do you think Windsor market will keep going up? Unemployment rate is going up here and no other big businesses. So again, I'm not saying the Windsor market prices will keep increasing. Honestly, I'm saying that I don't know what's going to happen. Rather, I would focus on what I can control, which is like what can I buy, what can I invest into. But in reality, yes, Windsor market, the unemployment rate is still high because Windsor is not that great. Windsor is still a blue collar city, because which means a lot of jobs in Windsor are depending on blue collar, like tool and die, all these automotive industries. So if something happens to Chrysler plant, a lot of people will be losing jobs. And so definitely that's one thing. But on the other side, what I'm seeing is in Windsor, the immigration population, the population is actually growing, because there are a lot of jobs in Detroit, in around Michigan, and there are a lot of people working from home, and there are a lot of people moving who are like planning to retire. Those kind of things I'm seeing. I believe those are some of the major reasons why the Windsor market has been appreciating pretty strongly from last 2, 3, 4 years. Even though the unemployment rate still the same, there was not much of a difference in the unemployment rate from last 3, 4 years. But because that work from home options came in, and out of town investors have seen the value, and there are some big projects that are going on, not big businesses, but more like this bridge construction is going on, and the mega hospital construction will be starting soon. And the university and St. Clair College are doing very well from last few years, attracting international students. So a lot of the population growth, and things happening. So those are causing the market to keep going up, the market appreciation. But that being said, we don't know what's going to happen with these interest rates. We don't know how high the rates can go up, because that could impact on overall Ontario market. Because if the rates go up drastically, that could keep a lot of people away from paying the price, because their uh, affordability will go down. So yeah, now we gotta wait and see what's going to happen in Windsor market. Same person. Have you done HELOC via bank before refinancing? Before slash refinancing, if you have a real estate inc company, does banks give you refinance, or you suggest to get it from private lender? Okay, there are multiple questions in there. First of all, HELOC, home equity line of credit. Generally, most of the banks will give you HELOC for primary residences, the properties that you're living in. Those are the properties generally qualify for HELOC. So that means you cannot, generally you cannot get HELOCs on properties that are in corporation, unless some lender, if let me know, I can talk to them. But I don't know anyone who have done HELOCs on investment property that are titled that are under corporation. So that's number one. Number two, you can refinance a property under corporation if your qualification still, if you still qualify for it. And also, like, generally, even if you have a residential property under a corporation, generally they look at your like, your they take you as a personal guarantor. So I have properties under corporation, and they qualify me based, they qualify me even though the property is under corporation. The title is corporation, but I'm the one who is guaranteeing the mortgage. So they will do the financing, they will do the refinancing as well. So I did multiple refinances on my properties that are under corporation. Generally, maybe not every lender does. There are some lenders who are very good with corporations with a personal guarantee, like RBC, CABC, National Bank. There are some lenders that do that. So probably you're going to have the right mortgage person who can help you with those things. What do you suggest to do with the rental licensing coming up? And many houses basements are not 7 feet high ceiling, as they are older homes. Uh, how do we make it legal? Good question. Actually, I touched on this in the last live. Really good question. That's again, yes, there are chances for rental license to be coming up, and in Windsor they've been talking for a while. They already started to implement, I believe, in area 1 or 3. They want to start and see how it's going to go. So that being said, if you're looking at a property that has a basement, number one, most of the basements in Windsor market are probably under 7 feet tall. They're maybe good for 5 feet guys like me, but not for 6 foot guys or girls. So that being said, like, so there are chances for those things to happen. Number one, just account that's going to happen, and consider that, whenever you're looking to buy a property, maybe now consider that that's going to happen, and buy the properties that either have a height, or expect that you're going to change that. Maybe don't buy the property that has too many bedrooms under the basement, in the basement. Maybe if it's one bedroom in the basement and 5 bedrooms upstairs, now you're safe. But if you're buying a property where you have 3 bedrooms in the basement and 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms upstairs, now you're a little bit, gambling, because your rent can go drastically down. But there are always solutions, right? To You can make it legal. You can definitely dig the basement. It will cost you 20 to 30,000 approximately, again, depending on the what size and all. I have done digging, like, increasing the basement height in the past. And I have a good friend and partner, and also GC, general contractor, my good friend Savio. He does those, increasing the basement heights by doing, of course, everything legally. We are doing currently on one of our flip, we are reducing the basement height because the height was not enough to make a ADU. So there are routes. Your cost going to go up. So now account for that. Consider that if this will happen, and if your number still makes sense, then you're good to go, right? So that's how I look at it. What do you think about high slash luxury homes in Windsor? Do you see future going down as high interest rates, affordability, etc. may affect? what is your opinion? So I'm not a huge fan of buying a luxury home, especially if you're, in the beginning of your career. If you're just, still working hard to pay the bills. You don't have millions of business coming income coming in. Personally, I don't invest in luxury market. Even my primary home, this is a debate. I was talking to one of my friend the other day. He was asking me, why don't you buy a nice, $1 million home? Whereas, my current home is like, I bought it for 300,000, a bungalow, a 60 years old bungalow, 3 bedroom, 1 bath upstairs, very typical. And I have an in-law suite in the basement. um, so he was asking, like, you're still living in a okay neighborhood, okay house. I said, for me personally, I would love to have freedom, because I don't want to be in this stress. Like, what if something goes wrong? I'm not gambling. Just I don't want to gamble. Maybe once I'm well off with the finances, maybe I'll buy a luxury home at that time. But now I would love to have freedom. That's why I named myself as a freedom agent. I'm starving for my freedom. I would like to travel back home whenever I want. I don't want to be financially, too much stressful. So this luxury homes, especially when you're not financially, like, strong, can put you in a jeopardies. Yes, they can have good chances for appreciating pretty high, because they're brand new homes, or newer homes. But at the same time, there are risks, right? So, yeah, as an investment, I would not do it. But again, if you're well off with your finances, you worked your all 10, 20 years, you already accumulated pretty good amount of money and all. Yeah, maybe it's time for you to live the life. But again, that's my thoughts related to luxury. Thank you, glad you liked it. Antonio, sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Canadian Classic. Hi Aditya, I'm from London looking to invest in single family house under 250 in Windsor. What neighborhoods do you suggest? So first of all, you have a very, very, very slim options under 250, because definitely the Windsor market, you're talking about like less than half the average home price. Right now, the average home prices in Windsor is like 565,000. So you're talking about like less than the half. So technically, right now in Windsor, almost that's the land value. So it's pretty tough to get under properties under 250. If you can, then only few neighborhoods. West Windsor, Sandwich Town, if you heard, that's one pocket. Downtown and Ford City. These are the three neighborhoods where you have a chance if you do. Mostly like 2 bedroom house, or those small properties. Those are the one you will be able to find under that price, or maybe a property that totally need to be redone or something like that. Good job. Yeah, you can definitely look into those three neighborhoods, like I said: Sandwich Town, Downtown, Ford City. As a realtor, do you see less bidding wars? Yeah, definitely. I have seen that the bidding war has definitely gone down, comparative to 3 months ago, 4 months ago. We are not seeing as many offers as we used to. Definitely, like, probably instead of 10 offers, 3 offers, 4 offers, unless the property is solid, right, priced it right, marketed right. Those are the properties I'm still seeing getting, 10, 15, 20 offers. Like, nice homes are still getting. But more than half of the properties are not getting as many as they are used to. Are you looking to expand in GTA? Amarinder, I haven't thought much about that as of now, or Waterloo area or Kitchener. No, not really as of now. But never know in future. I did invest in nearby GTA, in Burlington and Paris, in a pre-construction projects, but not as a realtor. As of now, I don't have any ideas. Maybe in future, I don't know. Anish Reddy. Hey Anish, I bought my first freehold 4 bedroom house townhome in Oshawa 5 months ago for 664. Thank you for sharing the numbers, man. I like you already. And now it's going around 900. I rented for 3,200, including utilities. Should I sell the property or keep it? It is 3 years old. So it really depends on what's your plan, right? If again, I'm not an accountant. Don't take me on an accounting side. You check with your accountant. If you can sell that property as a primary home, now you have a almost 300,000 cash that you can buy, leverage bigger, more units. That's one way. Yeah, maybe if you're looking in that route. Or you can go refinance, put a HELOC, or maybe get a refinance money out, and go buy another property, or multiple doors. It depends on what's your goal. Why, if you are thinking of selling, you got to ask like, what I'm going to do with this money. If you have plans for it, yeah. Because we got to look at it. It's hard to say like, would I, if I have my primary home, right? Like, right now I'm sitting, I bought it for around 300,000, and now it's around 600. So I have like similar 300,000 equity, but not in 5 months. It's been 2.5, 3 years. So I got 300,000 equity in 3 years. So I was like, I can sell this property, I get that 300,000 cash, and I can go buy another one. But now, instead, I did refinance. I put my HELOC and I invested that money into another project, because personally, this property is good for me to hold. Like, with the new mortgage, I can still like bear the mortgage and expenses. Even if I consider this as my investment, if I refinance the mortgage, new mortgage, I can still pay off with my income that I can get from this property. So if you're refinancing, if you cannot pay off all your expenses with the new mortgage and the new expenses in place, then maybe think of selling, because you got to look at all the elements. So now you have 300,000, you can go leverage, maybe now, instead of one property, now you can buy two properties, maybe multiple units. So um, maybe elaborate more on what is your future plan. What are you looking to do? Submission, sorry if I pronounced wrong name, man. Thoughts on the market in spring? Will interest rates hike cause price to go down? If the interest rates go up, there are chances for at least, maybe not drastic dip. Maybe the prices can like stabilize. Like, right now we are seeing a softening in the market. I'm not seeing the prices going down, but I'm seeing the competition is going down, and the expectations on the sellers slowly going to normal. So it's the softening. I'm seeing the market is getting softened, because before it was crazy, too many offers, too many, less properties. Now there are options for the buyers to buy. And if you're like looking to invest, now you got enough inventory to at least look and filter some of them. So if the interest rates go up, we might be able to see a slight decrease, or maybe soften more. So it's hard to predict. Definitely, if the interest rates go up, the market can impact, that's for sure. But how badly, it's hard to say. Rana, do you also help us to find pre-construction houses? Yes, I do get some pre-construction projects once in a while, and here in Windsor we do have some projects going on. Definitely reach out to us. Um, mm, there is a contact us page on our website. It's wincity.re.com. You will see a contact us page. Fill out a small form there. We will contact you, and we'll help you with pre-constructions in and around Windsor, and sometimes even in GTA. I get some pre-construction projects in GTA as well. So yeah. So if you're just joining, happy Diwali again. Probably I will be logging off in next 6 months, because my wife sent a reminder, hey, it's time to celebrate Diwali. So feel free to throw your questions in. Probably we got another 6 minutes. I can answer 6 or 7 questions. A house listed for 400 was sold for over 585 in Windsor. Is this common trend over there? Robin, if I'm guessing correct, you're talking about a duplex that had a non-conforming suite in the basement. That was the exact numbers I saw. But again, it depends on how the property is listed, because sold price most likely is the market value of the property, but the listing price, maybe they listed wantedly way lower than the market value. So it's hard to say that every property will sell for over 100,000 or 150,000 or 160,000 or 200,000. It really depends on what's the market value of the property and how the listing price is listed. Because listing price is means nothing. It's a number that the listing agent and the seller decided to use for marketing purpose. So if the market value, let's say in this case, maybe around 550 or 560, and they wantedly create more bidding, so they priced it aggressively 150 160 lower than the market value. So now, because the price aggressively, and unfortunately when we are looking at as a buyers, lot of buyers get excited when they see such a nice property for lower price, and now they go bid on it. They want to try their luck, just like how many people win the lottery. When there are million people, probably one person will get $1 million, but still people have that hope, so they buy that lottery ticket to with the hope. So this is the same way, like when the property was listed so low and so many offers come in, and maybe 80% of the offers are dummy offers, and two or three or off four offers that create that good solid price. So maybe that might happen there. Param, what's the major source of your income? Is it commission? I have two sources of incomes, major of them. Of course, yes, I'm a full-time real estate agent. So yes, my commission is the major source of income. And of course, I do investing full-time as well. I have projects going on. Only thing is I don't sell them. I refinance them. The properties I purchased like 4 years ago, I refinanced now, I got extra cash. So yeah, investing and sales, majority of I would say sales. Canadian Classic. Hey, Canadian Classic, what's your name? Please tell me the name. uh, can I ask you about specific listing in DM? Sure, if you want to, maybe we all can look at the details. Sure, I don't mind. Maybe if you guys interested to see some properties, right? Like next time I can, come up with some properties and we can run the numbers, analyze the deals together, all of us. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing those kind of things. Maybe I can do that. DM me if you would be interested. Say yes. Uh, Smith, thoughts on student rental in Windsor post COVID? So definitely, I see it's picking up, because I started to see more new students coming in again now. um, I was talking to a good friend and also a client who works in St. Clair College. I was talking to him 2 days ago about this, like, hey, how many students are coming now? He said almost like it became normal, just how it used to be. Now the students are coming because the Canada opened the doors for Indians to come to Canada. So only thing, they're giving admissions, they're getting admissions, but still one thing, because Canada's still allowing for kids to study from home. So maybe, definitely there is increase in the rentals, but not as solid as it used to be 2 years ago before COVID. Definitely it's recovering. I would say recovering mode. Yeah, probably I would not be able to respond to the DMs tonight, but definitely sometime tomorrow. How high will the mortgage rates go in 2020? uh, Rima, hey, so we were discussing all this time. So in short, I'll put it in short. Probably, if it go up, maybe in my opinion, 1%. But again, what are the chances? Really hard to say. There are definitely good predictions. Maybe I was thinking, because they already increased 1.25% increase. I think twice in last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So there are chances for increasing, maybe 0.5 to 1%. Sam, hello sir. I have 80K. I want to buy and sell house in 6 months. If you any option which can give me some profit to put that in down to buy a house. Hey Sam, there are so many things that you need to consider. First of all, how much mortgage would you qualify for? At least for 80,000, you can buy and sell, of course. So the number one thing you have to focus is which market you want to do that. Number two, you got to find a good deal, especially because to put it even in simple words, you're looking to flip. You want to buy a property, maybe if possible, try to buy it under market value that needs some work, do the renovations and sell, because now you're forcing the property value with all these unknowns. So you just make sure you buy the right property. So that's my opinion. It's definitely doable. There are a lot of flippers, but again, also, I don't know what's your knowledge, right? How much do you know about renovations? How good can you uh, do the renovation? How strategic can you be? And how handy are you going to hire people? If you're going to hire, like, how many contacts do you have? Like, so many elements. But definitely it's doable. You can, if you don't qualify mortgage, probably you can even get private mortgages, especially if you can find a really good deal. Finding a private money, put that 80% down, or maybe put 40,000 down, use the other 40,000 for renovations. There are many ways you can tackle that situation. Hello, everyone. So happy Diwali once again. Probably I'll take one last question and we'll jump out of the live, and we'll have some firecrackers tonight. I'm excited for that. My wife is actually waiting, so I told her I'm gonna come at 7:45. It's already 7:51. So one last question, and we'll be out here. Uh, Rabia, hey Rabia, how are you? Happy Diwali. Will bank consider legal basement suite lease agreement for brand new two-story home during the mortgage of a house? Will this make mortgage application stronger? So it depends on the lenders and depends on which city you're in. Um, Unfortunately, in Windsor, not many banks will consider legal suite properly, but there are few lenders who will 100% take the legal usage of a property and legal unit and the income that coming from that unit, they take into consideration. So it depends on house. And if you're in a different market, maybe for example like GTA Brampton, there are a lot of lenders will consider that income into account because it's normal there. In Windsor, it's still not so normal. Not many lenders know about, not many appraisers know about the legal usage of the property. So it's a little bit difficult. But there are some lenders, like National Bank. They are my favorite one. They do take the legal usage into account, and they take the income into account. Even CABC, they said, if you have a legal permit and you have a lease agreement, they consider that income into account. So depends on the lender. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on, and of course, I'll be joining again live next week as well. Until then, I wish you a happy Diwali for all my Indian friends and family. um, and see you later. Have a wonderful day. Make sure if you need any help in Windsor related to buying, selling, investing, anything, of course, me and my team are happy to help. Check out our website. It's wincityre.com. On there will be a contact page. Just hit contact and fill a small form. Me or my team, one of us will contact you within 24 to 48 hours, except Sunday and Saturday. So yeah, until then, see you guys later. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful evening.